How you doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseat here, and today we got the boys Herb and Evan here, and today we are watching a video asking, is Harry Potter ableist? And what do you fellas think? Is Harry Potter ableist or nah?
Nope.
No, I think this is great for people who are suffering disabilities.
It's a great book series, great film franchise, weird musical in between. I think J.K. Rowling was open to experimentation, and a very questionable HBO revival. And
Yes.
But ableist.
We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah. Anyway, so. I don't really understand how Harry Potter can even be ableist to begin with, but I guess we'll get right into that. And yes, y'all can hear music going on right now. I'm trying to experiment a little bit, trying to spice up the videos a bit more. So if you guys think the music is too loud or too omnipresent, just let me know and I just won't do this shit again. But anyway, Herb, let's just jump right into the video, shall we?
Yeah, let's get it on. I'm curious.
Let's get it on.
I mean, it's basically a rite of passage.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. First off, all right, this is like ASMR setting. I'm not sure if she's in her build.
Yeah,
She's
I was
on
about to say, that's very ASMR feeling to it. It was
green screen.
This is a very bad green screen. You see how she's like really fuzzy and the rest of the background's really sharp. That's a bad green screen.
Yeah. It's a great background, regardless.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, let's continue.
Lefty YouTuber makes a video critiquing Harry Potter. We got her. It's in our contract with Google. Hey up, I'm Ember, and in this
no one's forcing you to
I
do
will
it.
tell you why Harry Potter is ableist too.
Well,
yay!
You did a self-deprecating joke about doing it for Google. You know, so a little bit of self-awareness there. That's good.
Yeah, at least she knows that she's just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is, as we would put it, bitching just a bitch.
Why would I spend my time writing this whole thing about these books?
Because you have no better use of your time.
Bloody books.
You can't get a guy.
Picked apart so very, very thoroughly. I mean, apart from the fact that audiences seem to love it when YouTubers do that. Honestly, I just think they're still far too influential. Still seen through far too rosy glasses. If you couldn't tell by the accent, I'm British, and so is Joanne. And not only is
obvious.
she still pretty powerful, still quite influential, still more or less accepted.
Hey,
oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, so that is a problem.
J.K. Rowling agrees to meeting with Labour about gender transition policy. Author responds after Shadow Chancellor says party would be really happy to give her assurances. Oh, vey. Okay, Herb, we can continue.
Yeah, she's anti.
She's one of them crazies, yeah.
Yeah, and political establishment.
What's wrong with being a turf?
Still using her vast wealth to fund far-right projects.
Hold on. What the hell is this?
Hold on. Pause. J.K. Rowling is the furthest thing from alt-right. Like, if you really think about the whole plot of Harry Potter, it's really about a boy and all of his friends of his whole school fighting against what you could perceive as a very oppressive force trying to conquer the entire wizarding world. Like, I wouldn't consider that far left. Like, I would consider that almost on par with Percy Jackson, almost on par with the Hunger Games. Like, they all kind of share this cohesive theme that you see in children's novels of children taking a stand against the oppressive villains. And good portion of all the authors who write those books are pretty far left. Like, you guys probably know more than I do, or rather, not sure how much Backseater knows about Harry Potter. Like, okay, Backseater, how much do you know about Harry Potter?
I've seen all the movies, so I know a decent amount, but I wouldn't consider myself a fan.
Okay, well,
I've been a long time fan. Like, audiobooks.
Good.
You know,
I'm knowledgeable, but not enthusiastic about it. I'll put it that way, yeah.
Well, J.K. Rowling, I'm pretty sure you fellas do know, is pretty far left herself.
Yeah.
She's definitely stood firmly for LGBT causes, for racial equality causes. But of course, she became the pariah of the left when she simply says that she doesn't think trans women should be considered real women. And
because God forbid she disagree with them on one issue, am I right?
Yeah. And it's funny, I have a friend, or at least not really much of a good friend at this point, who's actually transitioning into a woman, and he was a big fan of the Harry Potter franchise, and when he transitioned, he completely turned into, like, the most anti-J.K. Rowling person I know, based on, in his words, principle.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the ire of hell for anyone who, goes against the cult of the LGBTQ. It's really sad, and I just can't imagine living over in Britain and not having the Constitution and any sort of popular ideas of freedom or individual rights.
Yeah, I literally can't imagine living anywhere other than America. Yeah.
And so they had the Labour Party and so that just because he's, I guess, pro LGBTQ, that's like a whole Marxist movement, but under the banner of the flag.
I don't know much about
now
the politics
taking money from
in the UK. I get most of my news source of UK politics through Spitting Image.
Yeah, if Hawk were here, Hawk would be able to tell us, because he's British and he knows a lot about, he keeps up with the politics over there. But from what I hear about him when he talks about Labour is like super duper left, like communist left. So yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ugh, indeed.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yes, he's the means. Anyway, let's continue.
Yeah.
I'll go back a second.
Political establishment and endorsed by most of the
Godspeed, J.K. Rowling.
Political establishment, still using her vast wealth to fund far-right projects. But if you've been to the UK, if you've been to London or Edinburgh or the Scottish Highlands, you will notice an inescapable and suffocating Harry Potter theme.
Yeah.
Tours.
Yeah, you got a big fan base there. I'll
tell you guys that.
What?
A couple weeks ago, I actually went to what they call a Cinescore for Harry Potter and Chamber of Secrets. They show the movie, and they have the live orchestra play the score as the movie plays. It's actually really fun.
Yeah.
Of course. It's amazing. And I love orchestral music, man.
They were really impressed with everything, and everyone there was decked out in Harry Potter gear. Like, they had people cheer for the Gryffindors, the Hufflepuffs, the Ravenclaws, the Slytherins. The Slytherins got cheered for the most. I'm Slytherin myself, so I felt kind of prideful doing that. And you would look at this whole group, and you would think, wow, I'm sure none of these people, like, you get the impression that J.K. Rowling is perhaps the second coming of Christ. Like, that's how much they love J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, and through that community event, like, it's been so many people's lives, like, so many memories of, like, the book nights where, like, the books would come out and be all, like, read and the stuff was coming next. That was great when they were coming out, and the movies were another part of that. I don't see. I mean, I imagine being from the UK, this might be a little bit suffocating, like she said, but it's not that bad. Like, come on,
I mean, come on, look at everybody here. They're having a grand old time right down there, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Even if... Just to point out, and I was going to say this, but I got cut off, but correct me if I'm wrong. When the movies were started developing, like the very first one, I think J.K. Rowling was only writing the fourth or the fifth one. Correct me if I'm wrong on that sentiment, but she was still well in the series when the movies were getting ready to be developed. Because that's how they were at the time.
Yeah.
And she managed to finish them all by the time they were done. Take notes, George R.R. Martin.
I was about to say, he's like the anti-George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't really read those, but
anyway,
let's continue on. Keep going.
And I simply cannot stand by and watch silently as this terrible person, a mediocre writer, is lauded as some kind of literary genius. And
firing shots! Firing
That's
shots!
Mediocre writer.
Let's see her. Okay, lady. Let's see you write a whole giant wizarding IP. Enlighten us.
I'm also going to assume that you are abreast of some of the main criticisms of the books, because there are a lot of them, and
We
I
need to
don't
talk
want
about
to just...
Dudley. Oh gosh, what is this all?
Lazy liar thief. I can't read these, Herb. They're too blurry.
There's Curse has disability. Then there's a Hogwarts thumbnail, I think.
Ugh, I think this is no. I don't think many people are abreast these major criticisms. I think only her subscribers are. Like,
lady. The only people who are abreast of these criticisms are terminally online leftoids. I'm sorry, lady. No.
Yeah, no. This took a real turn.
Yeah.
To repeat what a bunch of other far cooler YouTubers have already said.
Yeah, I don't think I would be clicking on any of those videos.
Yeah, no.
I might inadvertently.
I have better things to do for my time.
Someone else has said that I listened to all the audiobooks for this video. I'm not going to watch all the YouTube videos too, sorry. And if you'd like to support this important work, then why not join my YouTube memberships or sign up for Patreon? Okay, let's go.
I'll stick with Jimcock, thank you.
Yeah.
Extremely obvious statements.
Oh no.
Wow, the production.
Wow, executive producers.
Wow, it had 6 executive producers. Like, come the hell on.
Special thanks too.
Yeah. How is this? This looks like miniatures.
Chapter 1, Squibs.
Squibs.
Oh.
Hang on, Herb, can you pause?
If we're going to talk...
Yeah. Now, Evan, just catch us up again. What are squibs?
Squibs.
Squibs are, I guess, wizards or witches that are
It's
born,
essentially
like,
a non-magical person born to one parent who is, magic. They're essentially a wizard-born muggle. And if you don't know a muggle,
muggle's a normal person, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh man, here we go.
Alright, here we go.
It took a long time, but we've got somebody real angry about this. So
oh boy, here we go.
Oh man.
If we're going to talk about ableism in the wizarding world, then there is no better place to start than Squibs.
Hey, it's very character building stuff. Learning to peel sprouts without magic makes you appreciate how difficult it is for muggles and squibs.
Squibs are people born to magical parents but who have no magical abilities themselves. If you've only casually watched the film and haven't read the books, you might have missed the existence of Squibs. Squibs seem to be a rather direct and purposeful analogy for disabled people.
Okay, hold the hell on here.
At the start of book 7.
Okay. Alright.
Is that even... I don't even think that's legit. Like, I legit don't.
It's just one of those terms that you say once or twice and then they never get mentioned again. Like, I can't even recall if in the books, if squibs are ever that directly important.
Okay, so the squibs that I'm thinking of is I think it's Mrs. Fig, who lives next to Harry, who has a lot of cats, and Harry doesn't want to go over to see her because she has a bunch of cats and whatever. But turns out she's been sort of keeping an eye on him. I believe that's Mrs. Fig. I could be forgetting the name, but the first squib that we encounter is it's the caretaker. He has Mrs. Norris, it's his cat. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. I'm sure she's about to mention it, but I believe in the second or the third book, we find out that he can't use magic. Like he's got something in his desk drawer that's about doing certain things, going about life in certain ways, and doing certain tasks, without the use of magic or with certain like medical items. And so it's found out that he can't use magic, and then he's sort of embarrassed, and it's sort of an open secret. And I don't know. It's
now Herb.
The shame of that.
are squibs ever portrayed as like needing assistance for their quote-unquote lack of magic, their disability, if you will? Are they ever depicted that way?
No, but there have been people who, I guess, there are times that are mentioned. It's like, I guess it's fearful to let people know that they're a squib. That's of course Dumbledore's sister. Dumbledore's sister in the 7th book is known to be a squib, and people were teasing them. Oh yeah, we just didn't want to let people know that she was a squib the whole time. That's not true. She was a squib. She wasn't disabled. Oh gosh.
So they're not disabled people then. Like,
not really. No, I wouldn't say so.
So what she get? So okay, well, I guess we have to figure out why she thinks is squibs are disabled. But anyway, let's continue.
Yeah.
Learned that squibs were hidden away by magical families, and to have a squib in the family brought great shame.
Squibs were usually shipped off to Muggle schools and encouraged to integrate into the Muggle community, much kinder than trying to find them a place in the wizarding world where they must always be second class.
This is a nasty woman.
But naturally, Kendra Dumbledore wouldn't have dreamed of letting her daughter go to a Muggle school.
In the Harry Potter world, people who are completely
The character was meant to be very nasty, though.
Muggles.
So, of course, you would say something relatively cruel.
Really, on the most part, they can't see the magical world. Squibs, though, they know all about the wizarding world, and also they can see and interact with magical creatures, such as the terrifying Dementors and Poltergeist. But the magical world barely even considers them to be people. They don't even keep a record of squib births. So magical families could just be doing whatever with their squib babies.
All right. So I'm not sure where she's pulling that in, but like they don't even record the birth of squibs. That's I think a case by case study. I don't know if that's what happened to other people. I don't know if there's any listed examples of families who do that, or if that's more. But yeah, I don't know about that.
Also, they wouldn't really have any documentation in the Muggle world either, so they're just completely and utterly without rights or protections entirely. And
That's a bit of a stretch.
Muggles who, on the most part, are blissfully unaware, squibs are fully aware of the injustices and discrimination they face. And they're called squibs. She called them squibs, as in damp squibs, as in something which was expected to bring joy but which sorely disappoints. Bit harsh, isn't it? This is supposed to be the 90s for crying out loud.
I mean, it fits the slang, I guess. Like,
the etymology.
Okay. Unrelated, but is it just me, or does this lady remind me a bit of Grace Randolph?
Oh yeah, I see it now. Chlamydia burns. Oh yeah, it's like I'm trying to think over like what it could be instead, but like every analogy I'm thinking of literally doesn't apply to them. Like they literally seem like just their own thing, completely detached from reality.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, honestly, it is sort of on the nose.
It just seems like just general discrimination. It just seems like not a specific ism or phobic. So anyway,
it's just one of those things where you kind of exist, but at the same time you really have no use here.
Yeah.
Right. It's just, but at the same time, it's biology, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the big thing I do ask: how is that problematic to our world?
Yes.
Exactly. These books, this book series ended a while ago. And even then, people have not been hung up about squid. People have been taking. If anything, nobody's mentioned yet, like the fact that the Christian symbolism in the last book, especially this unconditional love, self-sacrifice for others. J.K. Rowling is a is a Christian woman.
And, that applies to everyone within the wizarding world.
Yeah,
even the squibs.
I mean, people are more upset with Harry Potter because it's about magic, and I've met people even growing up who are like, oh no, you don't read that. Don't have you reading that. I'll take that book from your hand.
Don't read that Harry
Don't
Potter
read
novel,
that.
or little Herb is gonna shoot fireballs from his hands. Yeah.
Yeah. I've met people who couldn't read Harry Potter because of that reason. But there are a lot of, I guess, lessons that you could find in the Bible that are, I guess, iterated in or like detailed, alluded to in Harry Potter. Like, I guess, if you remember Goblet of Fire, it was Mad-Eye Moody, or the teacher who was posing as him. He's putting them under the Imperious curse, and you have to use your willpower to resist, to like refuse. And that's what Harry was pretty adept at, but still, it takes your full concentration. Just like, that's about having the will, to to refuse. Oh my gosh, when it comes to like episode 5, what was it? Order of the Phoenix. It's like, he had to use so much willpower just to like, refuse and resist all of Umbridge's, stuff. So like, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
And the same with Dementors. I guess thinking of positive thoughts, positive energy, and like, more than that, love, the strongest of all of those thoughts are just thoughts of love. When you're in despair, when there are dark entities that are around you, clouding you and trying to like suck all the life from you. You have to visualize hope and love. And that's in repeating these spells. I don't know. There's I don't know. It's not satanic, man.
Yes.
Harry Potter is like the furthest thing from satanic.
Yeah.
It's generally categorizing Harry Potter with Satanism purely because it deals with magic. Like,
but I don't know. People's views of magic. There's dark magic, but there's also magic.
Same thing with superhero movies too. Honestly,
there's alchemy, man.
Like there is like
alchemy
Facebook groups that are like Christians against so-and-so, whatever recent MCU series is out at the time, purely because it deals with people and superpowers. And at one point, a very, very large group was formed, like Christians Against Ms. Marvel, purely because Kamala Khan's a Muslim.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's crazy.
Kamala Khan ain't even the first superhero Muslim.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I'm sorry, we kind of went off topic.
Yeah, we went off topic. Back to it.
I'm sorry.
Back to it.
Yeah, we established a lot. Freaking Harry Potter's a net positive, I think, and she's hung up on a lot of trigger words. But let's keep on going.
Labour's never challenged in the text. No one thinks that's weird, that's what they're called.
Why would they?
The many things that go.
Harry Potter was very popular with the American audience, so they're not really in tune with British slang.
Fan favourite Hagrid seems to use the word as a pejorative, much like he does with the word muggle.
I'm a ruddy teacher, aren't I, you sneaking squib? Said Hagrid, firing up at once.
That was said to Argus
Filch. The Filch is a
squib,
nasty guy, man.
And he's also the caretaker of Hogwarts.
Well, he was beefing with Hagrid at the time, so of course Hagrid's gonna get nasty back. And if Hagrid, he's one of the nicest guys in the books, and if you get Hagrid riled up, you know you fucked up.
Yeah.
Most of whom are teenagers, some of whom enjoy setting off messy, practical jokes in the halls.
Yeah.
He lives in a...
Well, I mean, you have teenagers with magic, what else can you expect?
Seen in those halls, cleaning things up by hand. Because he doesn't have any magic.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point.
And we hate him because he's grumpy about it.
And what on earth's a squib? Said Harry. To his surprise, Ron stifled a snigger. Well, it's not funny really, but...
Oh, thank God that S was
he
there.
Said, a squib is someone who's born into a wizarding family but hasn't got any magical powers. Kind of the opposite of muggle-born wizards. But squibs are quite unusual. If Filch is trying to learn magic from a quick spell course, I reckon he must be a squib. It would explain a lot, like why he hates students so much. Ron gave a satisfied smile. He's bitter.
The treatment of squibs in Harry Potter in many ways
he smiled when he said it too.
Treatment of disabled people in real life.
Still haven't shown how.
To different schools, sometimes to never see their family again, existing entirely separately from those who are supposed to care about them, seen as an embarrassment and a burden. According to the law, squibs happen when someone in the family was a muggle. The idea that traits and talents can be passed down genetically is called hereditarianism, and there's a whole chapter on that coming up.
Oh, joy.
Apparently.
But quickly, it's an ideological foundation of atrocities that have been committed against disabled people and all other minorities for a really long time.
Oh, joy.
Much
Here
like
we go.
the pure blood supremacy, the ableism in Harry Potter is more alike that of the 30s, 40s, and 50s than the 90s and early 2000s.
How much do we want to agree with
Squib
that?
discrimination is
I'm gonna press X to doubt on that. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
I mean, if there was, there probably was overshadowed by the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big one. 50s.
nobody, not even bleeding heart liberal Hermione. The fate of squibs piques nobody's curiosity. I think
Why
it's good
shouldn't?
to include ableism.
Well, yeah, I
in
mean,
your
the book's not
fantasy
about
world.
squibs, it's about Harry.
Like, if nobody
Yeah,
gives a shit
hang on.
about it,
Hang on, her pause. Like, lady, what do you think is more important? The squibs not getting the best hand, or freaking Voldemort coming and trying to take over the world? Or whatever his goal was, I always forget.
Well, all right. So here's what I'm thinking. Like, what I've been thinking this whole time about squibs, like, pretty much, this has been my headcanon.
Mhm.
Like, take Mrs. Fig, I believe that's her name. Harry's name. She knows about magic, and she had their magic items. Like I said, even the Weasley brothers, they open their joke shop. They have magic items that can assist squibs, do daily tasks. Like, and they have command of owls. They have the owl post. You know what? Like, and for one thing, wizard gold is actually gold. They're not using a fiat system. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm just saying, there's plenty of advantages that somebody who is a squib has to somebody who's a muggle, right? Because, like, they have knowledge of two worlds, and they can, yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not. You're not disabled. In fact, you're more privileged and more knowledgeable than us, the muggle. So, I honestly don't want to hear it, man.
So in a way, you could say the squibs kind of have a responsibility to, even though they don't have magic, they can make do with what other skill set they have.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because science and logic, I don't know, it's very useful. I'm sure that even Dumbledore knows about
argument. And since we were talking about George R.R. Martin, think back to A Game of Thrones. Think back to Tyrion. He's a dwarf. He's left a little body, big head. He can't really do much physically, so his father always told him, well, since you can't do anything physically, you might as well exercise your brain. So that's literally what Tyrion did. He read, he became very knowledgeable, he became one of the most important characters in the book and didn't let his disability get behind him. So who's to say a squib in the Harry Potter universe, hypothetically, can't do the same exact thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's victim hunting on her part, or if it's like, I mean, it is kind of. I can see where she would.
It's victim hunting, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't know, because it's true. Nobody wants to sympathize with Argus, and even Ron, who understands, sort of grins, like, oh, but it's him though. Yeah, sure, it's true. Like at that point, like Argus being bitter, and being around magical kids, and he's always complaining. I don't know, man. It's like, it's on him to have a better attitude about like, even if it is, because Ron wouldn't be self-satisfied about his decrepitude if it weren't for the fact that he was a jerk.
Yeah, maybe if Argus had a better attitude, maybe the kids would stop like making fun of him and teasing him. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
not even the Weasleys, who are seen as kind of weirdos for their pro-muggle stance, not even they speak about their squib relative. So shamed they are. When the
Listen,
subject of
lady. The
ableism
reason
is
why the
picked
Weezer are
up
so
and
looked down
dropped
upon is
just
because they're
to
fucking
move
broke. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. I guess what does she mention about the hierarchy? The hierarchies. There was a word she used earlier. I'm gonna go back just a second.
Hereditarianism.
Hereditarianism.
Yeah, that's a huge theme in this book. Thanks to the Slytherin families and all that, the pure bloods.
to include ableism in your fantasy world. But like, if nobody gives a shit about it, like not even the Weasleys, who are seen as kind of weirdos for their pro-Muggle stance, not even they speak about their squib relative.
Well, now we just arrive at the issue. It's like, why should they, and what does the story benefit from it?
Well, I know a lot of the themes are about acceptance, like of other people, like let's say the house elves, right? They're talking about the house elves and the mud.
I feel like I could just feel that we're about to get on the topic of Dobby at some point in this video.
Probably.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. So the mudbloods and the house elves and the squibs and everything, like. There's often been, I guess, prejudice, in this book, and it's not like everybody was like, what are you talking about? Oh, we're ashamed that they're Muggle-born, or we know people who were interested in Muggle like stuff. I mean, that's like, it wasn't, unusual. I mean, I guess it was unusual for Eldest Weasley, Mr. Weasley, to be interested in science, but like. He wasn't, I think, considered odd or weird by anybody except for like the Malfoys, right? Like, those types of people.
Yeah, the Malfoys, like Lucius, played by my boy Jason Isaacs.
Yeah.
Jason Isaacs, yeah. But yeah, dude, so like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Harry Potter is pretty good about like highlighting victimhood. So I guess I understand why somebody like her
Harry himself is a victim.
Yeah. He ain't even a squib.
Yeah, he got, man, it was
why aren't we having a video dedicated to Harry's victimhood? Why are we talking about squibs?
Because Harry's the chosen one and he has a ton of money, that's why.
Yeah, he's got a scar on his head though. Like, you can't go around with a scar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gives money to Republicans, man. They don't like that. He has way too much power and influence.
Harry is a proud vote supporter of Boris Johnson. Anyway.
Oh god. Yeah.
Moving on.
When the subject of ableism is picked up and dropped just to move along other plot points, and then when that ableism is so extreme and nobody cares, what purpose does it really serve?
It's as cruel as our world. It's a
world building.
The problem for Harry.
Yeah, world building, kind of meant to be allegorical in a sense.
Human nature is human nature, whether or not you can use a wand.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go. Muggles.
Muggle is the term for all non-magical people, not including squibs. For the most part, Muggles are unaware of the wizarding world, except in a few cases, such as the Muggle relatives of witches and wizards or world leaders.
Hold on, pause for a second. Pause. You mean to tell me that Muggles are the victims in the situation? When, if you consider the fact that Muggles just about outnumber the wizarding world in almost in the whole way.
Yeah.
Like, the wizarding world only exists in little pockets.
Yeah.
The Muggles don't even know half the time that the wizards exist, so they're not really the victims in that sort of sense.
Yeah, and Evan, isn't it like hypothesized in the books that if the Muggles, well, one of the two outcomes of the Muggles ever discovering the wizarding world is that they could possibly take over all the wizards and force them to be their slaves, right? Isn't that one of the two possible outcomes?
That is one of the big fan theories about Harry Potter. As a matter of fact, that was actually, if HBO really wanted to do something, the Harry Potter or the Wizarding World IP, why not just make a show based on, like, a prequel to Harry Potter? With, like, the Muggles and the Wizards possibly being at war, and explain why the Wizarding World exists in little pockets and the Muggles are relatively unaware about it. Like, There's so much you could do with that IP.
There you go,
So we do make
HBO.
things
There's
grow.
a better idea than Black Snape. Anyway.
Yeah,
And that was
wait.
actually
Oh, gosh,
another idea
forgot
I
about
did
that.
have. Why not just do like a Wizarding World version of The Mandalorian? Just have it take place in America with new characters, and hell, that could be your excuse to cast very diverse.
Yeah.
Just don't
because
have,
the
just,
Ameri-
just please don't
American
have MacGuffin babies, please. Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
wizards or world leaders. Joanne goes to great lengths to describe all the different ways that the wizarding world tries to keep itself hidden from the muggle world. It's basically the main point of the Ministry of Magic. Are there any other ministries? Do they? No wonder Hogwarts is such a shit show. The only explanation as to why they do this, why they put so much effort and time into keeping themselves hidden, comes in book 1, when Harry asks Hagrid.
But what does the Ministry of Magic do? Well, their main job is to keep it from the muggles that there's still witches and wizards up and down the country.
Why?
Why? Blimey, Harry. Everyone would be wanting magic solutions to their problems.
Yeah, see?
Nah, we're best left alone.
We learn from the books that while witch hunts occur, that real witches and wizards actually had spells to protect them from being burned, and that some of them actually enjoyed it. I've seen discussions of this on fan forums, and some people have said that they need to keep hidden because if muggles ever turned on them, the magical world would be outgunned because we have like armies and nukes and they have wands.
Yeah.
But the book
Yeah, we have like way more people. We have like secret government, facilities, with secret government agents who would put you into like a
Oh shit, we
a
lost
super,
Evan.
impenetrable lab,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. At the same time, wizards can apparate, right? They can teleport. Some of them can, but not all of them. But
Yeah.
that's the whole deal. Like, they try to study them after capturing them and stuff. But, so Evan's tips.
Evan bounced. We'll continue this without you, Evan, pal.
Yeah, we'll finish this chapter.
Yeah, I'll finish this shit up here, yeah.
books make it super clear that if they wanted to, dark wizards could be a real threat to the muggle world, and I kind of rather believe that more. Seeing as they have like a direct route into the offices of our world leaders, they could just pop by at any time and intimidate or threaten or turn them into a snail or something.
Hold on, how
Given that they
likely
have
is that?
magical
How
creatures-
likely is that? Oh, never mind, Evan's back. Evan, she just said that the freaking world that the dark wizards basically can pop on into like the president's office and like kill him or threaten him or whatever. Like how possible is that?
Impossible and practical. As a matter of fact, I don't think Voldemort would even want that.
No. But like, yeah, I mean, it's not impossible because they have apparition. But like, it's like any. If there was a, I was just thinking about it now. Like, I guess I'm sort of going through the scenarios. Like, because there's apparition. There'd be, I guess, secret government facilities with secret government agents, and it's like, all right, we're here to capture and study these wizards and make them do what we want or whatever.
We're here to turn wizards into our own personal army. Yeah.
But like,
Black
some of them
magic
can,
ops.
but most of them can. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I mean, if you really think about it that way, that would also make for another cool hypothetical show in the
There
Wizarding
you go,
world.
HBO. There's another cool idea.
It would if they weren't financially motivated to make terrible shows with like people like her who's thinking about ableism and power and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to be terrible shows.
I mean, if you really think about it, I'm not sure if you guys know, but that HBO revival is actually made out of spite because HBO, they still wanted to do something with the Wizarding world, and they wanted to make an adaptation of The Cursed Child, except they only would do it if they brought back Radcliffe and, the original 3 actors for the roles, except they didn't want to. And HBO's like, okay, if you don't do this adaptation for The Cursed Child, we'll just reboot the whole thing, we'll erase their legacy. The actors were like, don't know. HBO's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But I understand their hesitation, and not giving in to threats. But still, it's like we're gonna get something pretty bad. But maybe it was always gonna be bad. Who knows? We'll have to see. But we got about.
I hate the fact to break this to you guys, but I actually got to go back to work. That's why I was off that for a little bit. Work was on me asking where the hell I was. So.
All right, Noah. Fuck.
Hope
All right,
I'm
see you, Evan.
Hope I'm brought back for part 2.
All right.
Oh
we'll
yeah,
see.
for sure.
We'll keep watching. All right, well, anyway, he bounced. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Herb.
He still got as long as he could. We gotta push through it.
Or something.
A few more
Given that
minutes.
they have magical creatures like Dementors, which Muggles can't even see, and which can just like go and suck the soul out of anyone in the world. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, interdimensional beings and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that's a reality we're not privy to. But anyway.
And I'm
Given
pretty,
that
and I'm pretty sure. And even if we, I get the feeling that if this lady was ever read Marvel comics, she would call Reed Richards useless. You know what I'm saying? Because
actually no.
okay, well, basically, she'd basically say, "Oh, well, hey, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, right? You're this super smart genius who can create all these inventions and do all this fantastical stuff. Why don't you use any of those to actually, make the world an objectively better place? Why don't you try to cure cancer? Why don't you try to solve world hunger? Why you just sit on your ass in the Baxter Building and try to cure your best friend of his skin condition and all that?"
Yeah,
it's like
that does sound like
it's like lady, it's like it's not that fucking simple. It's not that simple where the wizards can just wave their magic wand to make the world a better place, because now all of a sudden Muggles are super fucking dependent on the wizards to do everything. And I had something else in my head. I forgot what it was, but anyway, moving on.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. Yeah, it's because the vast minority of people.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Oh, okay, I remember that. It's like, okay, so let's just say the wizarding world comes out and says, "Hey, we exist. There's been all these people throughout history who could just use magic, and there's also these invisible, spooky ghost dudes called Dementors, and they'll suck your soul out." It's like, how the hell are people supposed to react, and what the hell is the world's gonna do going forward? Honestly.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are the magic peoples just supposed to become fucking superheroes at that point? Are they supposed to be like Doctor Strange and Zatanna by that point? Honestly, or
the entire world
yeah
would become people like this person.
Yes.
Oh man, it would be terrible.
Yeah.
It would be so bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Argent Adept or Argent Adept or Night Mist. Anyway, moving on, Herb.
Perish the thought. Perish the thought.
Memories of all of our generals and turn our U-boats into sea cucumbers or something. Muggles pose no threat to witches and wizards, although they harm Muggles all the time. One of the main jobs of the Ministry of Magic is to send agents out to do memory charms to erase the memories of Muggles who have witnessed magic.
Yeah, it's some Men in Black stuff.
Doing anything to them. Ronstadt is basically the only wizard who has any respect for Muggle culture, and he's roundly mocked for it. But he also fronts a campaign group called Against the Mistreatment of Muggles, which sounds like a animal rights group, but also implies that there is a need for that. Does anyone else think that Act 1 of Book 1 is basically a horror story from the Dursleys' perspective? It's the tale...
Oh gosh. No, my first thing that came to mind was the, if you know the origin story of Voldemort, Tom Riddle, Tom Riddle's, I'm sorry, his Marvolo, his mother, she loved potions and they shag and stuff, and then he sends her away, and I think there was I forget who it was. There's tons of examples of Muggles being killed, but I'm pretty sure that was Tom's full family ended up Tom and his mother and father ended up getting killed by Marvolo's brother, I think. I forget who it was, but yeah, it's it's bad. You know, like, there's tons of examples of muggles in the crossfire. You know, of
Crossfire, you get caught up in the crossfire. Anyway.
Yeah, you know, there's normal people. It's sort of like the same deal with, like, I guess when it comes to superhero action, it's like, oh man, people get hurt. You know, it's like, you know, then psychopaths. It's like, I don't know. It is kind of dark, man.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like that's what happens in the real life too. It's not like with the absence of magic that should happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of a man being driven slowly insane by magical forces beyond his control or understanding, forced to live with a child which he knows has access to unknown power that can kill, culminating in his being trapped with a giant who disfigures and traumatizes his son. Sure, he's an abusive arsehole, but that's a lot. That's a lot for anyone.
I mean, he turns him back,
I find it interesting.
Actually, they had to go get surgery.
Well, pardon me then.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like at the same time, you know, it's implied very late in the end game. It's like Petunia knew all about Voldemort and how they had to keep Harry there because there's a magic charm. Like he's safe in the house.
Yeah.
You know, up until the point. Yeah. So like, I don't know. I don't want to think that deeply about it. It is a horror show for them, but you know, at the same time, they're sort of people that look down upon others for like anything, and so like they're constantly worried about their own reputation more so than the fact that you know not because they don't have concern about letting the wizarding world get discovered. They're concerned about their own reputation, like to their detriment.
Yeah,
so that's the lesson there. You know what I mean? Like. Yeah.
Anyway.
Because as the books progress, Harry becomes more and more powerful. And sure, he's not supposed to be allowed to do magic at home when he's at home with the Dursleys, but that does not stop magic from occurring. Magic which always either harms something or someone in the house. Progressive
and she was terrible.
In the wizarding world do seem to see Muggles as somewhat of an oppressed group. Not a minority, but kind of disabled. But because some magical people have Muggle relatives, attempts are made to not be too cruel about them in polite society.
Okay, so here's the parallel. Oh, you have Muggle family. Oh, it's like, oh, you have somebody who's like the crazy uncle. Oh, they're like a crazy racist. They're like, they're like far leftist.
Yeah, that's a way stronger parallel than disabled people.
Yeah.
I mean, she's acting like all disabled people are like derpy hooves.
Yeah, man, it's. Ugh.
Also, lady, if you're reading off a script, put it like somewhere in the general area of your camera. Is here she's looking off to her left constantly. She's reading off her script, but her camera's like directly in front of her.
Yeah, and like you notice how she sort of pauses for these jokes, like it's like and
it's like gotta give them time to laugh. These are total knee slappers.
Yeah, it's very much. I'm not a huge fan of YouTube essay. Like,
Anyway.
But it doesn't take too much for our good guy characters to start using the word Muggle as a pejorative. The magical world holds extraordinary power over Muggles. If Muggles ever did try to fight back, they could turn invisible, disapparate, hide in rooms that no one can even perceive. Nukes. We wouldn't even know where to nuke. And despite this,
I'm pretty sure that the space is being harmed by the nuke. Anyway.
Yeah. Plus, just men with guns, man.
Muggles they're not the bad guy, but they're kind of the bad guy. They're annoying, seen as unintelligent.
What about the families of all these Muggle-born people?
Yeah.
Or the dentist.
Also, Herb, how powerful is the magic in Harry Potter that it could essentially no-sell a nuke? Because Harry Potter is pretty low scale, it's pretty low tier in terms of magical settings, right?
Yeah, it's like city block level at best.
Yeah.
Like city, yeah. like Dumbledore. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's all, I guess, the power of words. So there might be room to nullify, but I expect it to be very advanced magic.
Yeah,
and it's got to be somebody.
Yeah, bottom line, if Harry ever fights Argent Adept, Harry's fucked. So, yeah.
This apparition, that's the best option. It's just to move, just to move away from wherever,
Yeah, Night Mist could fuck Harry up, but I'd say she even more than Argent Adept, but she's dead, so Harry ain't fight her. Hell, I think even Harpy could fuck Harry Potter up, and all Harpy's magic can do is let her control birds. But anyway, I digress, Herb. We can continue now.
Yeah. We can talk about power scaling.
Yeah.
Boring. Even Muggle enthusiast Mr. Weasley doesn't even listen to them. It's his dearest ambition to learn how planes stay up, and at one point he's trying to figure out how brakes work instead of reading one single solitary Muggle book.
Exactly. Just reading books, man. Like, I'm just thinking Dumbledore. Like, he knows the value of the science textbook. Like, he's an alchemist. Alchemy and science. Like, I don't know. It's very strange. That is a very strange thing. Because a science textbook is so, I guess, irrelevant to a wizard's life. But that's the curiosity, the natural curiosity that all humans, not all humans, but most humans. At all, there's a base level of humans that are just purely curious,
Yeah, so moral of the story, study up, folks, if you want to be the best around. No one's ever gonna keep you down. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Because, that was a good way of putting that.
Yeah.
So little are Muggles regarded by magical people that they barely even know the first thing about them, despite living in a world that was mostly built by Muggles. Muggles built that train station you like so much, I didn't notice much in the way of wizarding agriculture.
Hang on, how the hell would Muggles
constantly eating bacon sandwich?
How the hell did Muggles build platform 9 3/4 if Muggles don't even know it exists?
Yeah, true.
It's prevented by it's protected by an illusory barrier. So that doesn't check out, lady.
It's either just a charm. They charmed King Croft, or they built an entire different section, with Matt.
What the hell?
These are the questions.
Are there magical abattoirs and meat packing houses? Even if there are, they're still eating pigs, aren't they? They're still reliant on the world outside of their own. The fact that the magical world turns its back on Muggle problems, refuses to help out with huge issues facing the entire globe.
Freaking called
things that go
it!
way beyond personal problems, existential threats, problems which threaten much more than just Muggle lives, and they're just like, nah, they're fucking billionaires.
No, they're not.
Billionaires. Billion.
And of course she hates rich people. Fucking Christ.
It's the billionaires. It's all their fault.
The billionaires!
Yeah, they just dumped all them fine eggs they've acquired all over all of us.
Yeah, they're just taking all their hard-earned money and putting it into a bank. What are they even saving it for? A rainy day? Bah!
Yeah, right. Oh, man. It's so sad. There's so many nice people who think like this. And,
yes.
They become intolerable.
Sheer brain rot at play.
Yeah, it's sad.
She made a world in which the billionaires, who can literally do anything they want to, but who just refuse to help out because, oh my god, it would be so annoying if people were coming to me with their problems. Ew. They're the good guys. They're the ones we should root
Okay,
for.
hang on, lady,
We're supposed to laugh
Herb, hang on. I'm gonna pull some out here. So let's say I walk up to a wizard. Hang on, lady. You see how much money's in my wallet? that fucking much, right? What do you? So let's say I walk up to a wizard and say, "Hey, wizard, can you, materialize a humongous fucking like briefcase of cash like right now?" Are they supposed to help me out just because it's my problem? It's like, no, that's something like, piss off, bro. Piss off, Muggle. Go to fucking work. Get a job. Get a real job. Stop running your failing ass YouTube channel. But I digress.
Yeah, man. I mean, I would love that because fiat currency, all that stuff.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Like, yeah, but like,
I'd use that shit to buy myself my dream car.
If you did that for everybody, then it would debase the currency to its depth, like instantly. Just instant inflation, because of course they can't duplicate gold. That's one of the rules. You can't duplicate gold in this world. So it's, come on, you're selfish.
Along with their disinterest in Muggles, with their disdain for anything unmagical, and in this world, not having magic is treated like a disability. Electricity in the books is framed as somewhat of a disability aid, a thing that allows Muggles to do some of the things that magical people can do.
All those substitutes for magic Muggles use, electricity, computers and radar and all those things, they all go haywire around Hogwarts. There's too much magic in the air.
And in this world, the idea that those powerful few, wizards, that they have some kind of responsibility.
Insanely privileged.
Muggles.
So is she? Hang on. Is she basically saying that is she basically saying that like disabled people can't be rich? Is that basically what she's saying here?
Yeah. There's a pleb class and there's a privileged class, and oh man, it's like,
okay. First of all, lady, that's not fucking ableism. That's classism, and I'd say that's a bit stronger in Harry Potter, but even then. And second of all, it's like, lady, Satoshi Tajiri, he got the autisms, he got the tisms, he made Pokemon. Do you understand how much fucking dough that made him? Like, seriously?
Oh man, bless that man.
Yeah.
I love Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's finish up this chapter here.
Yeah, let's finish this up.
Downright dangerous to suggest.
Oh, that was it.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
That was very, very stupid. Herb, do you want to make a second part to this?
I'm kind of curious. I mean, she has them in chapters, so it's we can probably do that. We can go through this like a small little mini series of uploads.
All right.
I think I'm calling it for tonight though, because I gotta feed my dogs and get them outside.
All right, well, go feed your doggos, Herb. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment below your thought video, subscribe for part 2 coming next week, and we'll see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.
Peace.